Hello, I've got a 2004 Holiday Rambler Atlantis 24-foot motorhome for sale. It's built on the E450 chassis. It's a 6.8 liter gas V10 Triton motor. Gets about 12 miles per gallon on the highway and 8 to 10 when I'm towing this 7x14 enclosed trailer. I've had it for 2 years, put a little over 10,000 miles on it, loved every minute of it. I'm in the process of building my dream motorhome toy hauler so I can hold a couple dirt bikes in the back and have some living space up front without having to always tow a trailer. It's got very nice power leather seats from Flex Steel, both left and right. It's got an aftermarket CD player in it, and that little thing sticking out of it is a Bluetooth adapter. 80,825 miles on it today. It's got great big mirrors, and they're power mirrors, and this switch right here is for the heat, and the mirror heat works. Power windows and locks, of course. It's got a big storage compartment here, and those are some really nice wooden blocks for blocking up the front end. It's got a compressor, and then I keep my grill, and that compartment goes really deep. You can see that's a shovel handle there on the right. And it's got a 8-ton hydraulic bottle jack if you need it. Battery compartment here. It's got 2 great big batteries. They are 6-volt batteries in series, and then it's got some battery shutoff switches there. All those compartments lock except for this one. It's a propane compartment, and I think you're probably rules say you've got to have this thing unlocked at all times for safety. It's, I think, a 28-gallon propane tank. It lasts forever. There's a gauge on it there. It came from the factory with the Firestone Ride Right airbags, and you can inflate those anywhere from 10 to 100 psi. Usually, 70 psi is good unless you're towing a heavy trailer, maybe go up to 80. It's got the extensions for the air valve, so it's real easy to check the pressure on both tires, the inner and outer. And they're Toyo Open Country HTs with a lot of tread left. I'd say they're in like 65% remaining. Back here is all your water, and so I've got water fill, and the water overflow is this pipe here. All the piping has been redone in PEX, and it's really easy to winterize. And then you've got your dump valve for black and gray water. You can see there is foam insulation all on the bottom. This was over a $100,000 motorhome when it was brand new in 2004. And some of the things that you can notice difference about this versus your run-of-the-mill Winnebago or Thor or some low-quality motorhome. Backup camera from the factory. It's got aluminum skin instead of fiberglass, and it's really well insulated. It's got a ducted ceiling. It's got these German hair windows. And the latches, the ones I can always tell a cheap motorhome versus a good one. First giveaway is the quality of the latches. There's a key to lock it, and then it's just a regular hand latch as opposed to the ones that you've got 2 keys and you have to turn them, and they're like quarter turn. And the doors are thick and insulated. Like I said, it's real easy to winterize. Here's all your plumbing. You open these valves, and it can drain out, and then I take compressed air and have somebody on the inside open up the valves one by one, hot and cold, and makes it real easy to winterize it. And then there's lights in most of the compartments that you can turn on, 3-way switch. Here's to the hot water heater. Turn that on from the inside. This is the furnace exhaust, and here's the stuff for the fridge. It's a 2-way fridge. It is propane or AC electric. There's no 12-volt. And this is another storage container. Keep tools in here, and again, it's a very deep container, so you can fit a lot of long items in there. And then this is the 4,000 watt Onan generator, and that's a remote start. You can start it from the driver's seat or back at the control panel inside the motorhome. I just washed it, so it's dripping a little bit, and once I'm done with this video, I'm going to change the engine oil, and I am going to change the generator oil for its spring oil change. You can see the backup camera is in the little sunshade, and it's got a switch on the bottom for standby. So when it's in standby and you go to reverse, it automatically turns on, or you can just turn it on all the time if you want to watch your trailer, or if you're not pulling a trailer, you can tell when you're passing a vehicle, you know when you've gotten around them and you can move back into the right lane. It's got fully carpeted floor mats. I mean, everything about this is very nice. All right, let's take a look inside. Automatic step, and the step is wired to the ignition so that when it's in its normal position, it'll just open and close with the door. But when you're at camp, you can hit the off switch there, and then it's not cycling back and forth, and it just stays out all the time. And so when it's in that position and you forget about it and you jump in and turn the key, it retracts the step. So sort of a little safety feature. The previous owner, this is a shoes off motorhome, so let me take my shoes off and then put my slippers on. So previous owner built this into a shoe storage area. The dinette here has seat belts for both seats, and then the couch also has seat belts, so you can carry a bunch of people back here. Of course, the dinette folds down into a bed, but as you can tell looking at it, that's a bed for a child, I don't know, 4 feet tall or something like that. I'd have to get a tape measure. The couch is long enough for me to take a nap on, but I definitely prefer being in the full-size memory foam, and it's a aftermarket like gel memory foam. It's super nice. There are compartments along both ends of the bed, so whichever one you wanted to have your head at, you've got storage, and there's some hooks to hang stuff. There is this curtain here. If you've got other people, you can close this curtain for a little bit of privacy. There's a vent up here, and so there's 3 roof vents, and so for the summer or the winter, be able to control some of that heat loss. You can see how thick that ceiling is. So this is where the ducted AC comes out. And then I've replaced all of the lights with LED. Cowboy hat rack, gotta have that. Ladder here for getting in and out, and then this is a custom made cover, and I put these turnbuckles on there for it to be more secure, and you can open that all the way up, or close it all the way over to here. Cup holder. The shades are really nice, go up like this. You got a privacy shade, and then a nighttime blackout shade. Compartments here. I usually keep hats and gloves, and it's typically what I've used those for. Got a hanging locker here. Clothes storage, and there's sort of a library section there. Switches, so we've got ceiling lights, there's a porch light on the outside, and then there's storage lights. You can turn all those lights on there, and it's got the red to let you know you're burning battery power to do that. Some hooks for hats and sunglasses, and then this is a cork board, so you can hang up receipts or parking passes or whatever you want. Another storage up here. DVD player, runs off of an inverter. I've got all the cables, HDMI cables and stuff to be able to plug in. And then this is where I kept my little handheld Dyson, and I had it plugged in over here, so anytime I plugged in or started the generator, I have AC power and it would charge that, or if I needed to, I could plug it into this inverter, and this inverter is what runs the TV and DVD player, so you don't have to be plugged into shore power. This is the factory information. It's got a really nice owner's manual, and it's all organized pretty well. Fire extinguisher. You see the Sony speakers. There's 4 speakers in the ceiling, and there's 2 in the doors, and it's all on that system. When you're watching the TV, it's just the TV speakers. It's not wired into that, although you could if you got ambitious. Little scoop on the air conditioner, blows ice cold air right up to the bed, so if you need to cool this thing down in a hurry, you can do it. It's got a really nice fridge. and it's got a light. I'm not plugged in, or actually I just don't have it on. If I turn that thing on, okay, so that turns on. In the auto mode, it'll use gas, the propane, whenever it's not plugged in, and as soon as it detects AC power, it'll automatically switch to AC. And there's a good size freezer as well. Here's your pantry. Oh, that's already open. It's not supposed to be left like that. And so you've got, these can move for whatever height things that you have. You can adjust those baskets around. And there's also some additional space back there. Oh, there's chips in there still. I hope those are good. And some microfiber towels, cleaning supplies, everything like that. And so then put this in here and then lock it. And this is a little plastic bag dispenser for your trash, but I always like having a real trash can, and this fit perfectly and matched pretty well, so that's included. Also, there's a smaller space here aside from what's built out to the shoe closet, and I just keep a dustpan in there. You can take this ladder, it's lightweight aluminum, and there's a great big drawer here. This is wired to the house battery, so you can always tell what the house batteries are. I like having it there so that whenever I'm in the driver's seat, I can watch the voltage and make sure that the alternator is putting power to the house batteries like it's supposed to. It's got a great big center console. There's a huge container down there. Up here, also, you'll see there is AC for when your generator's running or you're plugged in, and then this is a 12-volt outlet that I use for other phone chargers and stuff. So I've got, with that right there, you can have 4 USB chargers right here. The thermostat's over there, and that runs the heat and the AC. You just select whether you want hot or cool. Over here, you'll see this is the intake for the furnace, and then these outlets here and here, and I'll show you another one in the bathroom. The nice thing about this is that your boots and everything are right in the heated area, so it melts any snow melt and help to dry this area out, and then your boots are nice and warm to put on. The door handle is really nice. You know, it's got a good quality feel to it, and then there is a deadbolt here, and the deadbolt can be unlocked from the outside, and then there's also this lock here. So if you just take this and flip it down, and then you shut it, you know, this is locked, the handle's locked, and the key works for that. So there's 2 separate keys for the exterior. All right, moving back to the kitchen. This is a convection oven, and so you can cook pizza, whatever you want in there, use like a regular oven. All right, Siri, just leave me alone. It's got nice backsplash in here. You can tell the previous owners reupholstered it for a little bit more style, so it wasn't so beige, and they did a really nice job. The quality of the work on here is excellent, and I've got a runner carpet to keep the wear down, since it does have a white-ish color of carpet, and it matches the style real well. I'll put the slide out in just a second. So obviously, you know, if you want, I'm just going to leave all the utensils and everything in here so that you've got a turnkey ready to go motorhome. Got all the, you know, utensils that you're going to need, and then pots and pans all fit real well in here. There's another heater outlet there. This is a great big cabinet. Lots of storage back here if you need it. Let me grab so you can see the PEX, deep sink, and lots of space, lots of storage. Drawers. There's a filtered water outlet here, and then regular water. I've got the taps open for winterization. This is a really nice, just fits perfectly. So you got a drying rack there, and say you cook breakfast in the morning, wash your dishes, you're ready to go, you put them in here, and then this just sits down in the sink, and it doesn't have anywhere to go, so keeps the noise down. You got Venetian blinds in the back. Bathroom. So you can go and flip this, and then that heater is still blasting in here, and there's also a heater in here, so the bathroom can get nice and warm. Here's another area where you can tell the difference between a good motorhome, a top quality, and a not so top quality. You know, there's vinyl ceiling, it's ducted for AC, and there is a skylight in here. So I'm 5'8" and I'm well below the ceiling height, but if you're 6.5 feet tall, you could still make it work in here. It's pretty good sized dry shower. And then I just have this little wooden block to keep the glass shower door from moving on and off. And of course, obviously a glass shower door is another example of where they didn't cut corners. You can set your temperature, get your temperature dialed in, and then there's an on-off here so you can conserve your water. You know, turn it on, get wet, soap up, and then turn it back on. It's got a nice flush toilet, and there is a sprayer back there. So when the downside with that is you have to push this handle like halfway down, and that pumps water. And then when you go the next step past it, it opens the valve and lets it go into the black tanks. So you have to have this thing halfway down, and then you can use the sprayer, and it's got water pump pressure. That could maybe be replumbed if it was a big deal. It's not to me. Cosmetic light, and the light in here. Big storage here. This fit pretty well, so you can organize your stuff a little bit better. And then there's a drawer there. Then there's great big space for toilet paper, antifreeze, all that stuff. Same thing in here. There's a bunch of space underneath. Nice sink, room for all your daily necessities. And then there's a little indentation here to grab this. And so Holiday Rambler is a division of Monaco. Monaco is one of the best makers, and Holiday Rambler is just another brand name. I don't know when they got consolidated or whatever, but the max, so it's 14,000 pounds, and then combined is 19,000 pounds. So you can tow a 5,000 pound trailer legally. Like I said, 2004 Holiday Rambler, 24 RBS Atlantis. Okay, so now this thing comes equipped with a travel lock from the factory, and it just goes like this. Just helps to support the slide out a little bit better. This thing has a rubber brace on it that was pretty well attached to the... There's a rubber bulb gasket here, and you can see there's a rubber sweep right there. So once you do that and you make sure you've got enough space on the outside, you can come over here and so the slide, there's in and out, so we'll go out. So there's plenty of space in here with the slide in. If you're just road tripping, you stop to make lunch or whatever, it's totally functional with the slide in. But then once you open this thing up, man, it's just giant. It's very nice, very comfortable place. It's very luxurious for two people. I don't have any kids, so it's just the two of us. Tank level switch, water pump, I turn that on and it's just gonna run because there's no water in it. And then you can turn on your 12 volt heater, which is really just propane and like minimal 12 volt. And then if you're plugged in, you can turn on the 120 volt. It takes a lot longer to heat up on AC power. Propane has a lot of energy. And then voltmeter for house battery. And then the other switch is for the chassis battery. There's a system bay heater. There's like an AC outlet, and you can plug in a heater and turn that on to heat those bays for wintertime camping. And then the generator start-stop, so you hold stop and it primes it, and then you hit the starter button. It usually takes like 10 seconds of primer to start it. That pretty well rounds it out. I don't think I looked at any of the upper cabinets in here. So your breaker panel, other fuse panel, and the detail, all that stuff is right here. It's a 30 amp main, pretty standard. And then all these dishes and everything fit so nicely in here. And you know, they're Walmart dishes. They weren't super expensive. Those are included, and it's like 20 bucks in dishes. I don't care. Another compartment. And also got some, I have 3 of these matching towels. They go with the color scheme. pretty cool. Those are included. And coffee maker. This is a huge compartment back there. And then, well, there's a pan that got hooked on the inside of that, so that means that's not a good spot for that pan to be. So I'll deal with that later. I'm working from home for however long this virus is going on, so I'm available to show it anytime. If you have some questions, feel free to call or email. Also, I see this, so there's a trailer brake controller there as well that's wired in. And then you see up there, there's the generator start, so you can start the generator like as you're pulling up if you want, because you should let a generator run for a minute or two before you put a load on it. And then there's also that switch next to it called battery boost, and so if your the van battery happened to die, you can press that button and it will link up the house batteries and you can jump start yourself. All right, I think that's all I got. Again, any questions, let me know. You will not be disappointed. It's ready to go and shouldn't need anything. It's got almost a full tank of propane, will fill water, and you'll be good to go camping.